Welcome to HDiiTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Man, I gotta get a shave. I'm ugly as hell. But yeah, okay. Looks like everything is a good go. Um, Today I had a pleasure of watching the Pivot podcast with everybody knows Ryan Clark, what's his face, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor. These guys are former NFL players. You guys remember Fred Taylor? If you watch football, you'll see how intricate Fred Taylor was. He was a great running back, not a good one. He was a great running back. What's up, Bear? He was a great running back. You had Channing Crowder, who I don't really like. I think he's a Sambo, and I believe he follows the masses more than really be able to talk about himself. Like, to me, he honors his massa. If that make any sense. I may be going overboard, but I don't care. I don't really like him. Fred Taylor is very articulate, very, knows how to keep the conversation going. Journalistically, I really respect Fred, where he comes from. He talks about some real stuff. Now, Ryan Clark, I really admire Ryan Clark. I've been a fan of Ryan Clark for a long time. I like his etiquette, very well spoken. Was one of the quarterbacks of that Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That's the reason why they were able to win that Super Bowl, was because of his defense. Really had a lot of leadership. Strong leader. Really brought out did his homework, by the way. He did a great homework on Isiah Thomas. I think this was one of the best interviews that I've seen of Isiah Thomas by anybody. Like, it's stuff that I learned about. I didn't know him and Michael Jordan were this close. This was the shock of the hour. That was the shock. I didn't know him and Michael Jordan were buddies. Like, their families, like his brother and sister hung out with his brother and family. He showed Michael Jordan. He showed Michael Jordan around West Side Chicago. He welcomed him home. What up, Daryl Jones? What up, Feltimore? He did. He exposed Michael Jordan. This is what I've been telling people about Michael Jordan forever. Great basketball player. You could say he's the best of all time or one of the best. The guy's a scumbag and he's a liar. He bold-faced lied to us to make it seem like him and Isiah never had a relationship. I knew that, bro. Oh, man, well, respect to you, Daryl Jones. I didn't know that. I did not know that, man. Like, I'm dead serious. I did not know that. That is... This exposed them. And not only that, he exposed how they cheated them in the playoffs and the finals. He talked about his coaching jobs, how he built the foundation of those teams. He put the teams in place before he can actually get the chance to push forward. He was fired or he was removed from the job. It was powerful. This was the best Pivot podcast I've seen thus far since the Cam Newton one. Cam Newton's was good too. Make sure you go check out the Pivot podcast. I'm not a fan of Channing Crowder. I don't like him. I think he's a punk, and I don't like his way of he rubbed me the wrong way when he did what he did about Deshaun Watson. I've not been cool with him ever since. He showed his true colors then. So I'm not a fan of his. I don't like him. So you could say I'm biased. Cool, I'll be biased. I don't like that bitch. He's a bitch to me, especially for what he did to Deshaun Watson. He had no call. He had no gall to speak on Deshaun Watson like he did. So, What's up, Scrub? Hey, what up, Nick? Oh, yeah, you already know I was finna talk about it. Yeah, I looked past him. It was a great interview. It was past great. It was a superb and excellent interview. Ryan Clark, his homework, his ability to keep the interview going. See, this is what journalism is. If you have not checked it out, you need to go see the Pivot podcast. Ryan Clark is a great journalist. He is. He's a great journalist. Fred Taylor is a journalist as well. Channing Crowder's there for the amusement crap. But it works. The show works. Ryan Clark talked about with listen to it while you're at work, Scrub. It'll be a great listen to. They talked about Zeke and everything, how he came up, how he grew up. We know that story. A lot of the stuff we already know about Zeke. But the biggest thing that I really didn't know was that him and Michael Jordan were this close. Like, this is people don't understand how much of a bombshell this was. And he exposed the Indiana Pacers for pushing him out the back door and replacing him with Rick Carlisle when he started getting the team better. Then he talked about the New York Knicks thing. Then he talked about how his mother, was sick and dying. And it really messed up his judgment as a coach. And then when he went to FIU, he got all the players he wanted. He was ready to push FIU to the next level, and they cut his legs up from under him and replaced him with Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino. Then he exposed Michael Jordan for the punk he is by the Chicago Bulls getting away with the disrespect they had towards Jerry Krause, which I thought was disrespectful. Even during the documentary, I thought that was disrespectful. And they also showed how he took all the Piston players and put them on the last 3 championship Bulls to be able to win. And nobody called them bad boys then or called them bad for the game then talked about them as champions. Just, he cleared up a lot of stuff about the bad boy Pistons. But the main thing that I really loved was about how he exposed Michael Jordan, how he exposed the coaching network. But what I really wanted them to talk about, what they didn't talk about, I wanted them to talk about the CBA. I wanted him to talk about the CBA and how they basically forced his league to fail by creating the summer league during the time. That's what I wanted them to ask him. That's the one thing I give this interview. That's why I give this interview a B-. I give it a B- because they didn't ask that part. I wanted to know about the league that he bought. I wanted to know how he was sponsoring things, how he was moving the money around and things. I wanted to know more about that. That's why they walked out. These media dudes lie so bad on the Pistons. That's the truth. When these so-called basketball dudes said that Isiah Thomas was jealous of Michael Jordan, I told them do not speak on what they didn't know. Facts, Daryl Jones. That is facts. What's up, Nerdy Blue? That is facts. How was Isiah Thomas jealous? And I just always told people that I've never took Isiah Thomas as a jealous type. Even when I saw him when I was younger, he just always seemed like a warm spirit, a great spirit, a guy you can learn from. He reminds me of your uncle or your dad who's going to drop some knowledge on your head and push you to the right direction. So for them to it took football players football players to get to the truth about things. But my only reason why I give this interview a B minus is because they didn't ask about the league that he bought. I believe the CBA. When he bought the CBA. That's what I wanted them to ask the question about, and how the NBA played a part in destroying that league. That's what I wanted to hear Isiah talk about. That's the only thing I give this interview. That's why I give it a B minus. But it was a good interview, great interview, superb. Shout out to the guys who did it. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, make sure you go watch it. How can Isiah be jealous of a person he beat time after time? Facts. That's what I'm saying. And then Ryan Clark said, well, Patrick Mahomes, you can't be the best when you're getting beat by somebody. And Isiah Thomas texted him and said, wait a minute, Michael Jordan won 6, but we used to beat him all the time. And it had to clear up Ryan Clark and his assessment of Pat Mahomes. What's up, T-Hub? You're a journalist, so you're critiquing this from a different point of view. Yeah, I'm a journalist. I was a part of the National Black Journalists of America. I got my degree, my bachelor's in broadcast journalism. So yes, I'm really in my field right now. So that's why when people try to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, dude, I got to research. I just can't jump on the mic and speak, because that would destroy my integrity. That would destroy my journalistic how do I say it? Yeah, my journalistic endeavors. It would basically just say everything I've been saying up to this point is BS. But from a journalistic standpoint, Ryan Clark did an excellent job. Did a great job. Fred Taylor asked some good questions too, about him, and then he had to clear up Channing Crowder when Channing Crowder tried to say his disdain for stuff. Isiah Thomas was never disdained, you little prick. I can't stand that guy. He just makes me pissed off because he's just a waste of space. Like, if they could put somebody there, he could be entertaining and make jokes here and there, but at least have some integrity about yourself. At least come with something that we can actually follow and respect. I don't respect him. I think he's a waste to the show, and I think he's just there. Isiah was never disdained or upset or anything. Isiah Thomas, why would he be? The guy won on every level. He won 2 chips, made 3 appearances, won 2 chips in the championship, was arguably the best point guard, if not second best point guard of all time. Or you could say he's the greatest player. He's the only player to beat Magic, Bird, and Mike more than they beat him. He has a total of a 133 to 119 record against Bird, Magic, and Michael Jordan combined. Do you understand what I'm saying? Combined, he has beat them 133 to 119. He only has 119 losses. Do you understand what I'm talking about? What's up, No the Ledge? He said on ESPN. No, I tell the truth too much. ESPN wouldn't know how to deal with me. Now, to the next segment, Coach Prime's interview with Uncle Shay. Look, I'm not a fan of Shannon Sharp. I just love the football player. As far as the football player, I feel he's the greatest tight end to ever play the game. I believe he's one of the best players, period, to ever play the game. So let's just get that clear. I love him as a player. But as an analyst, I have not liked him. But ever since doing his Club Shay, I've actually grown to like Shannon Sharp. I believe Shannon Sharp, this is his calling, is Club Shay. He does way better over here than he does. But my only issue with Shay is He doesn't go at the white players like he does the black players. That's my only problem. The only white players he'll ever attack is Brady and Baker Mayfield. That's it. But other than that, he don't get on Josh Allen. He don't get on Lawrence. He don't get on none of these white athletes. He gives them a pass. But as far as black quarterbacks like Lamar or who else out there? Who's Dak and all these guys, he go extra hard on them. So, but the interview was great. Deion Sanders, or excuse me, not Deion Sanders. He would love to be called Coach Prime. Coach Prime basically explained why he left and his calling, how God called him to go to that direction. He showed his foot. Remember, he lost 2 of his toes, his big toe and his other toe, because remember, he had blood clots. It was real. I don't know why people were saying it was fake. That's stupid. And Coach Prime basically talked about, how he wanted to elevate. He exposed basically how the funds and everything, they were getting paid this so-called money, and all of a sudden the money wasn't being put into the program, wasn't really being put into the school. He talked about how the alumni, which are, majority black, don't really give that much back to the schools. And I'm going to add on to what he was saying. The reason our alumni doesn't spend a lot of money is because of a lot of our alumni don't have 6-figure jobs to be able to put back into the school. And then even if we do put back into the school, the president and the council, all of them people on the board, they're taking that money and putting it into their pockets, into their bank account, and all of that stuff. So it's a lot that's been going on in black historical black colleges. So, right, exactly. Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, he destroys. Tua and Mac Jones, he loves them. So it's like, come on. But yeah, Coach Prime basically talked about that. He talked about him, that people call him a sellout, all of this stuff. And just like he said, black people are the only race who tear each other down. They build you up, then they tear you back down. After they done build you up, they tear you down. But Shannon Sharp was the person who, in my opinion, was calling the kettle black when you didn't have that same energy or showed that same empathy for Kyrie Irving until after you received that backlash and you were being destroyed. Yeah, absolutely, Daryl Jones. Deion exposed how the HBCUs are being robbed by their own people. That's facts. But see, this is the thing. It took Deion Sanders to say that, Daryl. I've been saying this for 20 years. 20 years. I've been saying this while I was in school at an HBCU. 20 years. Our presidents and board were fired while I was there, about to graduate. They all got fired because they were stealing money and putting it in their pockets and putting it into their cars and their houses, extra tax write-offs. It's all kind of mess. And people don't understand how screwed up the HBCUs are. I'm going to bring my little brother DJ on here one day, and we're going to talk about it with you. We're going to explain to you how the HBCUs does that. So Daryl Jones is a part of it. So Daryl Jones, me, we've been saying this for 20 years, and people just look at us all crazy. It's like, bro, this is what's happening. This is why a lot of blacks don't give back to HBCUs. Plus, while they were there, the people in charge, the workers, the people or the employees that work there, they were rude as hell to us. They treated us like shit. It took you like 3 hours just to get enrolled in school. Damn near 4 hours. Like, the system is messed up. Everything they did, it was crazy. It was ugly. It was ugly and it was uncalled for, and there's no respect to it. Now they're trying to mess with my connection because I'm telling the truth. Telling the truth about it. See, they don't want you to know about that because they want you to continue feeding into the, oh, well, Coach Prime should have stayed and did this. For what? It shouldn't take Coach. Listen, I keep trying to tell y'all, Black people, stop looking for a savior. Stop looking for Jesus to come back. We don't need Jesus to come back. We need to fulfill ourselves by helping one another and growing one another. You understand? We can help and save ourselves. We don't need Deion Sanders. We don't need anybody with with the big names to do this. You understand? We don't need that. I believe TSU's police chief is under investigation or suing the school. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised, Feltimore, because there's a lot of dirty people that go to TSU, my brother. I'm just being honest. No disrespect or no hate to the student body or the people that's there. But Coach Prime exposed it. I'm happy for Coach Prime. Uncle Shay, I call him guzzler because he is a guzzler when it comes to brownies. But in this interview, he did a great job. Shannon Sharp, this was one of his greatest interviews that he's ever done. This interview, I give an A-. I give an A- for this interview. I loved how he came in and started roasting Coach Prime, and it didn't seem forced. It seemed like a genuine and real interview. You understand what I'm saying? It was very loved. It was very empathetic. And we got to hear Coach Prime talk about how he never planned none of this. Like, he was just going to chill. Like he said, Shador was going to FAMU. I mean, not FAMU, FAU. I forgot where Shiloh was going, but his baby girl was going somewhere else. He had no plans of coaching. He really didn't. Not on the college level. He had no plans. So for him to do what he did, much respect. The interviews were great. I love the part where he talked about Sterling Sharp. Like I told people, I believe Sterling Sharp is the second greatest receiver in history. First, I got Randy Moss. Second, I got Sterling. Third, I got Jerry Rice. What's up, Mello? No, they both were not on the Ravens at the same time. No, sir. Shannon was retired about time Prime got on the Ravens. Shannon was done. Prime retired and then came back and tried to do it again. But he was done at that point. I don't know why Prime tried to come back. But I dropped the link. If anybody want to get in here, talk about both interviews, we can. I just wanted to present that to everybody. Make sure you go see it. It really was very intriguing, but Michael Jordan got exposed big time. The HBCUs got exposed big time. They both got exposed. So if you're going to a black college, you'll understand what Coach Prime was saying. And in the other interview, you see that Michael, I didn't know he was that close with Zeke. What's up, Nick?
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, just got through watching that same interview, and I didn't even know he was that close to Michael. I didn't know he
Yeah, I
looked out
didn't
for him
know.
when he came over to the west side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And that speaks volumes of what the honorable person that Zeke is, that he was and is, and it just shows how much of a piece of arrogant piece of crap that Michael was and is still to this day. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame, and it's like, and of course, everything that we've known about Isiah Thomas and his impact on the NBA and his impact on the game of basketball, period, and his impact on the
Oh,
people he's
hold
coached.
that thought, Nick. To add to what you're saying, I also didn't know that the Pistons had the highest rated games in the 80s of
Oh yeah.
everybody. That
Mm-hmm.
was crazy. I did not
Mm-hmm.
know. I knew they had some high viewed games because of their play style. Because remember, they started off as an offensive team, then they transferred to defense. So I always knew they had ratings, but I didn't know they were involved with the highest rated games between them, the Celtics, them and the Bulls, them and the Lakers. That's crazy. But go ahead, my bad.
No, you good. And yeah, just yeah, like you said, like they was packing out the Pontiac Silverdome, 50,000 people deep. You know what I'm saying? Packing out Palace Auburn Hills. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Facts.
and it's a shame. And the impact of and everything that Isaiah has done is has been hidden. All because
Disrespected.
and
Mm-hmm.
disrespected. All because people are out here basically worshiping the ground that Michael Jordan walks on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a shame. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
look, bro, Michael. Look, he's of course he's one of the greatest players of all time, and has revolutionized the game of basketball. No question about that. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, we
Facts.
have to face facts. I mean, like, and what have I always said about the Bulls teams, man? About the Bulls teams
Mm-hmm.
when they in the '80s, they dominated in the '90s. But what do I always say about them?
They always lost in the 80s.
Oh, but what I've always said about them is, when people always say when Isaiah Thomas didn't, when Isaiah Thomas beat Michael Jordan, they always say, well, he didn't have a team and they was too young. And I always say this: the same team that Michael won with was the same team that he was getting his ass whooped with.
Mm-hmm.
They had the same team, dog. So it's like that's not an excuse. And also, just add on to that, to add on to the greatness of Isaiah Thomas and the greatness of the Pistons, it's like, you
Mm-hmm.
know and then, how they revolutionized the game of basketball. And I don't think Isaiah Thomas touched on this. I don't know if they asked him about this. I don't think they did. But you have the team that had the first three guard rotation. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Of course, first and foremost, they became probably the greatest defensive team of all time. They were always in sync on defense. They were
That's
on
facts.
switches, on rotations, on pick and rolls. You know what I'm saying? They knew how to push the offense to the help, and they were always in sync on defense. But it's offensively, they had the first three guard rotation with Zeke, Joe, and Vinny Johnson coming off the bench. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And with Bill Laimbeer, you had pretty much the first stretch five. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
You
Look at
did.
everybody now. Look at centers now. Everybody want to stretch out and shoot threes. You understand what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah, they
like,
basically copied the Pistons. That's all.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And no one really talks about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's a shame. And of course, as he talked, another thing he touched about with Michael Jordan is the fact that the rule changes for Michael.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
The
Explain that.
40.
Explain the rules they changed for Michael Jordan to everybody out there.
Well, let's see. The flagrant foul rule was
Mm-hmm.
implemented in 1991, and how much of a coincidence it is that that's the same year that the Bulls ended up winning their NBA championship, their first NBA championship. And this
Right.
foul, I mean, this foul, I mean, yeah, this foul call rule was implemented in 1991 to help the Bulls. Of course, once you get a hard foul, you get 2 free throws plus the ball back.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Nick,
Yeah.
Nick is in the building. What's up, HD? What's
What's up,
happening,
man?
y'all?
Was good. Was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like and another thing, it's like you open up the lanes for Michael to basically, you know, get steals and to get open dunks and look at everybody now. Everybody gets an open dunk, and it's like, okay, that's all good and well. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not as impactful, and the and the you know what I'm saying. And the game was always physical, bro. And they the Pistons have always gotten a bad rap about them being thugs and them being and it's like every
Right. Right.
every team was physical. Every team had players who used to throw cheap shots just to let you know, hey, don't come in the basket. You know what I'm saying? You always had like 3 or 4 guys waiting for you at the basket. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the Sixers were.
enforcers. There was enforcers in basketball too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, they were enforcers. They weren't even really called enforcers. It was just how the game was played. You had your big guy in the middle, who would come up and
Right.
camp in the lane. There wasn't no such thing as a defensive 3 seconds, all that. they would just play the lane, and then your perimeter guys, they would always lead them to the guys on the inside to touch them up. So usually, like Isiah was saying, if you were like a guard, you never really went to the inside of the paint like that. You always settle for the mid range or the 3-point shot when it finally came around, but you would settle for a longer shot because if you went inside the paint, you would get touched up. That's why when Mike was playing, that's why the Pistons took advantage of it, because when he would get into the lane, they were able to knock him out of the air. Then that was just considered a regular foul. So when the 90s started, they had to change all these rules. Like Isiah was saying, they changed the rules for the guy. I mean, if we still had the old rules, would he have won? No, they wouldn't have won. And plus, you got to look at Isiah messed his wrist up. His wrist was messed up. He developed carpal tunnel. He had to get it massaged and stretched out before a game. And
they was playing hard them times, right? In the 80s, man. He used to get like cut up, gashed out his eye and shit, bleeding. Still going out there going hard. So
that's how the game was played. And it's like, and check this out too, HD. I actually watched part of this game too. I think it was game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1991. The Bulls were up 15, and back when you was up, if you was up 15 back in like the 80s or the 90s, the game was pretty much over because the teams
pretty much,
But the Bulls in that game, they started choking. The Pistons started to come back from that, and they cut the lead down to like 2 points. And like I think, and like Mike went down the lane, they ended up calling it. They blew a whistle for him. And he got to the free throw line, and it just shows, of course he had help. You know what I'm saying? But like, of course,
Yeah, man.
They weren't ready around that time.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. I bring up the stats and stuff. Michael Jordan averaged about 10 attempts of a free throw. I mean, no, it was 9, and then in the postseason it went up to 11. He averaged 9, and then he averaged 11 attempts from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a lot.
LeBron James, his went from 8 to like 9. No, his went from, I think, during the regular season 8 or 9 to like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Kobe's was at 6, I believe, or 7, and then it went up to like 8 or 9.
Right.
If that, because Kobe could shoot better than most players. So
yeah, because Kobe shot the ball more, you know what I'm saying? He was more of a slasher. So
Jordan and Bron are slashers. Kobe had that shot. That's why I keep telling people, man, Kobe was because everybody always make that argument, like, about him and Jordan. And the reason I give Kobe the edge is because Kobe had a counter move to a counter move to a counter move. He never had a weakness as far as like going left or going right. Like, he never had problems shooting with either hand to get the shot off. And the thing about Mike was great. Like he could he was great at like what he did, the mid-range shot that became a weapon for him later in his career. He shot at a high percentage. And then he was able to do the fadeaway from the elbow as well as the sides. And, that really helped him out a lot, and then especially slashing at that age too. He was very strong. He had a strong core.
Yeah, so, I mean, and plus, Michael, he was very quick with his moves. So
yeah, he was.
He was quick as hell with his moves. So it was very hard to stop that. He said, Daryl Jones.
Yeah, and plus he was more athletic. Yeah, he was more athletic than Cole was. Cole was more was taller and longer. He was much longer.
Yeah, and that's what made his shot more. That's what made his shot more accurate. Because he was able to extend a lot more to the rim.
Right.
Than Michael did, and Michael had more. He had a quicker release than Cole did. Mike,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isiah did. Yeah, Isiah always showed Michael love. That's what I'm saying. Like, Isiah didn't start getting upset with Mike until Last Dance came, and that just proved the point. Like, you can't call Isiah an asshole, and you were an asshole to everybody on the whole damn documentary. I mean, it's just very oxymoronic.
You know what spoke volumes too? I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what spoke volumes too? When Isiah talked about how Michael blatantly disrespected Jerry Krause, the person who put all those pieces around you to help you win all 6 of the championships. Players like Tony Kukoc, players like Shoot, Pippen, Horace Grant, all those guys, all those shooters, Steve Kerr. You had freaking John Paxson, all those
Jerry
guys.
Krause was like an old school GM, like a real
Absolutely.
GM. You build the team as if your superstar is not going to be there.
Absolutely.
That's why the LeBron teams always mess up, because they build the team like he's always going to be there, as opposed to without him there. And then not only that, Mike could play off the ball. So that really helped him out a lot. He didn't just need the ball in his hands. He could catch it and shoot it and get it in the low post. And then, his footwork was incredible for that athleticism. We never seen a guy that athletic with that much that footwork. We never seen that before. So he revolutionized the game when it came to that. But his disrespect and his blatant disrespect and his lies, like, you got Oakley, your little bitch out here trying to speak up for you, talking about, oh well, Isiah Mike don't want to be your friend, when basically they were friends already. From what we're talking about in that, when he came in the league, his brother or sister, his sister chilled with your brother, Mike. So it's like, come on. Like how are you gonna disrespect this man after this man opened up his home to you, all of this stuff to you? It's like, come on.
I'm on the west side of Chicago, you know what I'm saying? His side, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and this is another thing too, the way the Pistons played, the way Isiah Thomas and the Bad Boy Pistons played, you know what I'm saying? The way that the Pistons played. That's Chicago. That's our style of play, dog. That's Chicago's. That's the hard-nosed, tough defense first. That's our style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way, it's like it just. And another thing Zeke said about, you know what I'm saying? It's like you may wear Chicago on your chest, but we gonna show you how Chicago really get done.
You're really from Chicago,
and that's how we play. The way the Pistons brand of basketball, the Bad Boy Piston style. That personifies how we are, you know what I'm saying? Really the Midwest period, Detroit too, but really that's that's us. But still, I just wanted to and also he touched on the fact that the foundation that he created with the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks, and all of that got taken away from him.
Hell, FIU. But see, what I got upset was they didn't talk about the CBA. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
That's something they missed out on talking about. That's another thing I wanted to get more information on that and to see how the league sabotaged it, from his words. I know we heard it from Sino and other people who were around during that time, that area, but I wanted to hear him talk about the CBA, on how he was going to basically, help the owners get the sponsorships, and how the NBA really blocked that behind the scenes. But I guess because he still worked for the NBA, he can't really go into that. But I really wanted to hear that side of it, because that would open up the minds of, future people who may want to open their own league, who may want to be able to try to get in ownership and all that stuff, because he was really the first owner, like black owner. He was really first black owner. People don't realize that. Isiah Thomas. Isiah Thomas was the first black owner in like the NBA.
Shoot, the owner of the Toronto Raptors.
Right. Oh shit! Yeah, he was owner of the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, and then
I remember he was GM, but he was the owner.
No, he was the owner. He was part owner. He owned it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. He just showed.
Because I remember.
Yeah, he sold it to the new black guy. Was it the African billionaire there? Did he sell it to him, or he sold it?
No. He left. He gave it up because Toronto was, because he got the CBA. He bought the CBA, so he left his ownership there.
Okay.
So that's why he left.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear about his ownership with Toronto. That's what they missed out on that. I felt they really dropped the ball on that. And then they dropped the ball on talking about the CBA. I wanted to hear them talk about that stuff. They were, everything else was great to hear, but I wanted to hear those two things. Those were the main things that were left out, was the CBA that he bought, and then the ownership, like how he got into ownership, like what did he have to do to get to that position? I wanted to hear all that stuff. So to me, they dropped the ball on that because that would have been even more explosive.
Yeah. And also, one thing that I've already heard Zeke touch on, but it's funny to hear him talk about it again was, his process of his mom actually, basically saying that, basically making Isiah, commit to Indiana University for, being coached by Bobby Knight, of course, it ended up being a benefit for him, in the long run.
Isaiah's better than Michael Jordan. You know why?
Why's that?
Yo, he did all this at 5'10". Who does this at 5'10"? Like,
it's more than that. I mean, but that's one of the reasons. But
Jordan's 6'6". Yo, he's better.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's more than that. But
6'6" Zeke out there.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like Isiah was somebody that understood how to win. At the biggest stage. And even before he got to the pros, he understood how to win. He understood that the game is, it's a team game. It's 5-on-5, and he understood how to, instill confidence in his teammates, and also to make, in making the better, not just on the court, but mentally and physically tougher. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sign of a great leader, and that's the sign of a great player as well.
Yeah, Mother Thomas was a gangster. She had the gun in her purse and the switchblade. His auntie had the switchblade under her hair. And his dad used to call her Joe Frazier. That shit was funny.
You say Joe Lewis. He say Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis. My bad. Joe Lewis. My bad.
Yeah, man.
Thank you,
Yo, Zeke draft. Oh yeah, he did draft T-Mac.
Yes, he did draft him.
With the Raptors. You still think T-Mac?
No, we had the baddest team.
Magic Zeke. Yeah, I mean, if Zeke would have stayed, I believe he would have stayed. But the thing is, you got to understand, T-Mac was at that point wanting to be his own guy. The mentality the mentality back then was different. Guys wanted to be their own guy and beat the guys. They didn't want to go join this guy and say, you know what, man.
He was with his cousin, He was with his cousin, Vince.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. It was my brother. I want to beat that nigga. That's
it's competition.
I mean, it just is, dog. Like it's competition. Like I don't want to play on the same team with my brother because it'll be easy. Like if we play 2-on-2 on somebody, it'll be easy because I know where he's going. He know where I'm going. It'll be easy for us to beat you. And I'm gonna beat your ass down low in the post and that. So he gonna kill you up on the wing. So we know each other. Even if we're losing, we'll come back because we know how to communicate.
Right.
I always wanted to go against him. That's a challenge because he knows all your tendencies. He knows what you're gonna do. He knows what you're not gonna do. He knows which way you can go.
Right.
That's the fun thing.
He knows your strengths and weaknesses. That's the chess match, right? That's the chess match right there. You know what I'm saying? That's that chess match.
We had David Stoudemire. We had Vince Carter.
Yeah. Marcus Camby.
Marcus Camby and
Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah, they had Bogues. Yep, they did have Muggsy.
We had a few other. We had a good team that year, man. Damn.
Well, that year when y'all had Vince, y'all lost in the first round. Y'all had T-Mac, Doug Christie.
Yeah.
T-Mac was running the point. Doug was your 2. Vince was at your 3. And you guys were dangerous. If y'all would have kept that team together, y'all could have got one sooner. With that team. That was a good team. But but Zeke, it was great that Zeke exposed everything. So now that everybody knows what's going on, we're gonna see what these media people say, which is bullshit, because they didn't even look into all of this stuff.
Also, another thing too, man. What's the brother name from Detroit too, man?
They should have did an interactive thing where people could ask
questions. The journalist from Detroit, Terry Foster, man. He a real one too.
He is. Yeah, he the first one to walk off the court before all of them. That shit was hilarious.
Terry Foster.
But I believe it though. He like, I know he was like this mother ucker.
Yeah, because I actually, and I heard him talk about it during the Bad Boys documentary and how much it, not just affected the team, but how badly it affected Detroit as a whole, as a city as a whole, because it's like they really, they were a representation of the city. You know what I'm saying? As far as
how many seasons was
certain
Rodman
issues, and it's like they attack certain issues in the world, and and in the in their neighborhood. Period. As far as us brothers and sisters, and how the system treats us, and it's like once you put out these stereotypes to all the and it's a shame.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hard-nosed basketball.
Saying they thugs and they're dirty for the game of basketball and they're undeserving champions. It's like, who are you to say it? It's like, what? It's like, who are you? And you haven't even won yet.
How long was what's his name? Dennis Rodman in Detroit?
Dennis Rodman was in Detroit from he was drafted in 1986, so he was there since.
Yeah, Chris Childs was there. He was there.
He was there since I think his last year was in
8 years. Okay,
yeah. Because Chris Childs was there. Then I think he went back to Jersey. Then he
Dennis Rodman. Yeah.
No, Rodman played I think for 8 years, I believe.
Yeah.
With Chris Childs, I was saying, he was asking about Chris Childs, was he there? And I'm like, yeah, he was with the Raptors. It was like late 90s. He was with the Raptors. Because remember, he was with New York. He was with the Raptors, I believe. No, he was with Jersey. Then he went to the Raptors. Then he went to New York. And then he went back to Jersey. So that's what happened to Chris Childs.
Chris Childs? Oh, yeah. Chris Childs. Yeah, he was in New York though, but I like Charlie Ward better. But yeah.
Charlie was a better offensive guy, but defensively, Chris Childs was better.
Yeah.
So they were about even to me, but I think Charlie was a better point guard.
Who punched Kobe that time? It was Charlie Ward.
You said what?
Who punched Kobe that time? You remember they got into it?
It was Chris Childs. Chris Childs punched him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. This guy was messed up. He gave Kobe a 2-piece. Kobe wasn't backing down though. Kobe came back at it like he had to tear his head off. That was
gave 2-piece to him. I mean, it happened. Shit, he got 2-piece.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
when
all.
Somebody tell you to ease up on the elbows and you don't listen. Sometimes somebody got to like slap.
But
that's all. But see, I don't like it.
Like,
I don't
like
that
nowadays.
But I don't like that when it's up there because that's all they talk about with him. He did way more than that. He was very intricate to those Knicks teams, especially the one that went to the championship that year. His defense was very key. So they don't talk about that, and I get tired of that. They just talk about him with Kobe and the two. It's like, bro, okay, like he was a solid role player. Like he did a good job for what he was.
He did. I mean, for the Knicks team that at least they went to the finals at least once in the 90s.
Houston, in the early 90s, they weren't quite ready yet, man.
They wouldn't have did well early. I mean, I don't see them beating Mike during that 3-chip ride. Now, when they lost Horace Grant, and if Mike would have stayed, then the Rockets, I think I don't think they would have got to the championship. They probably would have came back next year. They would have got.
That's why I kept telling everybody. Everybody talking about the Rockets when they never beat Michael Jordan in the Bulls. I said, bro, in 95, they was waiting on them. They wanted them to beat Orlando because they wanted to play the Bulls. They wanted to beat them so everybody could shut up.
I mean,
they would have beat the Bulls that year,
but I knew the Bulls weren't beating no Bulls team.
But I knew the Bulls weren't gonna make it because Mike just got back. He didn't have the legs or nothing. You could tell Mike wasn't Mike. Like, especially when he went up for a shot.
Yeah, especially once you, and also the thing is, you lost pretty much your second most important piece in Horace Grant,
Right. That was the second. Yes, thank you, Nick. Thank you. That was the second important piece on the damn team. So people stop talking about big nose damn Pippen.
Right.
God damn, dog. Right. I be getting tired of these Bulls fans. I'm like, bro, nobody feared Pippen, nigga. That's why we took Grant and his brother. That's why we took Horace Grant from you niggas. We weren't going after Pippen. We went after Grant.
Listen,
and
man,
even after Pippen left, we still didn't go after his soft ass.
Listen, man, let me tell people this, bro. Okay. Because they overrate Scottie Pippen's defense so doggone much.
Way too much.
Scotty was a good defender, but the way he was not as as y'all think he was. I mean, dude, Scottie Pippen was somebody that used to always fall asleep on defense. He used to always, you know what I'm saying, give up on defensive assignments. That's how dudes used to always
listen.
Like
Pippen was a double guy. That's all. You know, he was a cool double guy. Like
Pippen wasn't no double guy. Double in what?
He didn't no
double every night. No, the nigga that was getting the double every night was Horace Grant. Wasn't him. Yeah.
So Pippen never used to grab boards and shit like that?
Nigga, yes, nigga. Horace was the reason they got those 3 chips early. Him and Cartwright were dominating down low.
Yeah.
And Jordan and Pippen were on the perimeter. And in the second 3-peat, Rodman was way better than Horace. So they dominated. But if Shaq punk ass would have stayed the following year, we could have got those guys. We only lost because Horace was hurt that series. He got hurt. So we didn't have nobody to help on the board. Shaq has always been a terrible rebounder.
Yeah, because Horace went to Orlando. Yeah, it's true.
Right. He went to Orlando, right. And he was getting the boards, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt. Remember? He got hurt in that. I think he got hurt in the series before.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And when we played him, that's how they dominated us. Yeah, he was hurt.
You remember your Magic's history?
Nigga, of course I remember it because I'm a fan, nigga. I'm a fan of my team, but I'm not gonna be biased. I know the reason we lost the series. Like Bulls fans are delusional. Like they're just they go overboard about shit. It's like, bro.
Every time you bring up the fact that y'all beat them, they'll be like, "Well, what happened the next year? We swept y'all the next year."
Right, they did. They did sweep. I mean, they did sweep us, but they were supposed to. We didn't have our leading rebounder. We didn't have our leading rebounder in the post. But if you watch during the season, we gave them fits during the season, even when they had Rodman.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just saying, like, our problem was our bench was trash. Dennis Scott was a defensive liability. He was getting killed. And then Shaq. Shaq's great offensively. Offensively, Shaq could give you buckets. I'm not gonna lie. He's a great offensive guy, but defensively, the guy was terrible on switches. He was terrible on weak side help. He also would be when you run a pick and roll, they could run a pick and roll at the elbow or the top of the key,
and he would never come up because if your guy gets beat on a pick and roll, you're supposed to come up and help. You know what I'm saying? And he would always freaking stand back, and he would give the shooter about. He would give him the
transition. No, Shaq wasn't too slow. No, that was when Shaq was athletic. During that time, Shaq was in his best shape when he was in Orlando, bro.
Yes,
like he was in his best shape.
He was able to run. He was able to run the court. Yeah,
right. He could run the floor and everything. No, Vince Carter Felton. He played both 2 guard and in the 3. He was a tweener. But he played more 3 than he played 2.
Didn't really have no footwork like that. He was athletic, but he wasn't really.
Yeah, as far as athleticism, I always put Shaq and LeBron in my top 5 or top 10. Most athletic specimens I've ever seen in my life. Like just off athleticism, they're just freaks of nature. Giannis is up there too. But it's like But footwork, if you're talking about skill and player wise, like him and Bron have one of the worst. They have 2 of the worst footworks I've ever seen at that size. I mean, no, I'm serious. At that size, it's Karl Malone has better footwork than both of them.
Way better. It's not even
Karl Malone has better footwork than Bron.
It's not even close.
Yes, he does. I've seen him. No, you laugh, but I've seen Karl Malone, like old Karl Malone, like early day Jazz, later day Jazz, like his footwork, the ability to spin on the post.
Yeah, he's good at that
fadeaway. He can hit that mid range. Dog, the guy was very skilled for what he was. His problem was, he couldn't hit the late game free throws. That's what messed him up.
He couldn't close.
Right.
That's what messed up Utah. Him nor Stockton couldn't close.
Right, exactly. That's why when Stockton hit that 3 over Charles, it was funny because he never hits those shots, and Charles just left him open. It's like, wow, dog. So Charles got to be the most snake-bitten person in history. It's crazy. Like he's like always.
And then he says like, oh, the shot that Paxton hit, that didn't even bother me because I knew that was going in. The shot that bothered me was the Mario Ellis shot.
Oh yeah, from that corner. That shit. But see, Mario Ellie was always like that. He always hit those big shots. That's why the Spurs went and got him.
Yeah.
That's why the Spurs, because down in that playoff in that shortened season, Ellie was hitting all those clutch shots.
Mario Ellie was the man for a minute still for the clutch.
Hakeem would have killed that series if they played the Bulls plus Hakeem graded.
Robert Horry.
That year that Horace left, and if Mike would have stayed, and they would have killed them that year because nobody would have been able to handle Hakeem. But the following year, if they would have got Rodman, it would have been a different story. They'd have been able to do better. It would have been a better series.
Mm-hmm.
But if they would have played right when they lost Horace Grant, I think it would have went 5 games, maybe 6, like at most, because Michael would hit probably a last second shot. But other than that, they were losing that series to that Houston team because you got to remember Robert Horry would have killed Pippen. Thorpe would have killed the boards with Hakeem. So it was like no.
Joe Cool said Tony Kukoc had more heart than Scotty.
He did. I'm telling you, like when I watched the games, like the nigga we were scared of was him and Mike in the last seconds, like of the game, because they hit the shots. Kukoc hit the big shots. Like I'm telling you, during that season when Jordan retired. No, during that season when Jordan retired, everybody forget Horace Grant and BJ were playing out of their mind. And Pippen was still, his points went up because, nobody knew Pippen could do that. Nobody was worried about him. So he was giving you about 20, 21 a night, maybe 23, 24 at most. And nobody, and then once everybody started.
What was their record that year? You remember?
50.
Didn't they lose 2 more games? Did they lose 2 games or did they win 2 games?
Are you talking about
the season Pippen? It was Pippen, Horace, BJ, and Kukoc.
That was 90. That was 94. That was actually the year after.
So that was what, 55? They were 55.
55 and 21, I believe.
That's right, because they only lost 2 games from the previous year. The previous year they were 57 wins, and then they were 55 the following year. Yeah. So they were 55.
So they only lost 2.
Yeah. So 94. That 94 they kept this after Michael left. The year after Michael left in 94, they pretty much had the same, they pretty much had the same team after Michael left. You know what I'm saying? Once they had, plus they had, and they added Tony Kukoc to the bench, which strengthened the bench. But the thing about Tony Kukoc is he pretty much had besides more heart. The only thing that really hindered Tony Kukoc, and this is the reason why he didn't start, is because he was a liability on defense. And and Mike used to butt heads with Tony Kukoc every practice.
Kukoc wasn't a starter. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Kukoc wasn't a starter. He was good as far as playing later in the game, like
the 6 man, wasn't he?
Buckets. He was a 6 man. He was a 6 man.
Mm-hmm.
And in some lineups, they would have him at the stretch 4, and they would have Rodman at the 5. So they could do a lot of things there. So.
That was their way of playing small ball, I guess.
But Nick missing that ain't pissed me off. What pissed me off is we blew all those leads. We were up by 15 in all 4 of those games, and we blew the lead. It should have never came down to his free throws.
Shaquille O'Neal.
So what pissed me off was the coach. The coach had some bad defensive sets, and his rotation sucked during the game. Like Rudy Tomjanovich outcoached him in situational basketball. Brian Hill got toasted. Wasn't even close.
Oh yeah, Brian Hill. Yeah, that was your coach. Yeah. Bringing back nostalgia. I used to have the pennies, man. The pennies were the shit back then, man.
Yeah, the pennies went hard. Yeah.
And then they came out with the Stoudemires that look exactly like them almost.
Yeah. Stoudemire was a bad boy. Mighty Mouse.
The thing about the Houston Rockets team, I'm responding to what Rashid said. The thing about the Houston Rockets team is they had many shooters, man. They had many shooters, and plus Sam Cassell.
They were the Rockets for real, man.
Let me say this though. But Sam Cassell was somebody at that time that nobody had a scout report on. He used to come off the bench. He was playing like he was playing like a veteran in his rookie years, dude. He was out there playing like he was a vet. You know what I'm saying? He was killing dudes.
Outside of Akeem, he could create his own shot.
Yeah, he was.
Like who was that? Derek Harper, I think. He was trying to guard Kenny Smith, and he would always hand check Kenny Smith. They took Kenny Smith out the game. They put Sam Cassell in the game. Every time he tried to hand check Sam Cassell would slap his hand away. Like, get your hand off.
You can't do that to Sam Cassell.
Kenny wouldn't know, bro.
Sam Cassell's he was a sort of.
Well, at that point, Kenny lost his athleticism, so he wasn't the same. Yeah. He was more of a standstill shooter and a come off a picks guy.
You would have thought Kenny.
I kept trying to figure out. I'm like, and I'm still trying to figure out how in the world y'all come in there and y'all sitting there. Y'all game plan is to double Hakeem. Stupid. You leaving your shooters wide open. That's why Kenny Smith went off on y'all, because y'all left him wide open. Every time y'all double Hakeem, he just, y'all game. Yo, Kenny.
You got to double Hakeem.
But I'm just saying, if Shaq would have did his job, we wouldn't have had to do that. But Shaq was getting killed. What did you want him to do? You want him just to let Hakeem just go off?
I'd rather give up a 2 than to give up a 3.
Man, look. We didn't have the defenders and all of that. Dennis Scott was a liability, and then it was at points of the game we didn't double team. Sam Cassell was breaking down our defense and getting to the next level. That's what was killing us mostly, was him, because he could get to the next level. So that's also what killed us.
Yeah, and also in that 95, that allowed Clyde to get off too. You know what I'm saying? People freaking.
Well, that's what shocked us. We thought Clyde was done, which he was, but then when he went off, that was sealed the ice. That sealed the icing on the cake.
You know, and it's like they just had too many weapons for Orlando at that time. And plus, you got Robert Horry. He was another person that's long, that could stretch the floor.
Yep, Robert was killing us. Ellie was killing us. Like, their whole squad was just that was just a bad matchup for us.
Yeah, they were a bad matchup, man, for real.
Real bad matchup.
Yeah. Rashid said I rank Isiah over Magic as a point guard and a leader. I agree.
Didn't
Magic was more of a point forward to me. So as a true point guard, Isiah is like a true point guard. Magic was more of a point forward.
Well, didn't Barkley go to the Rockets?
Huh?
Didn't Barkley go to the Rockets?
Barkley?
Yep.
Yeah, Barkley went to the Rockets later.
And he went to LA too, right? Or it was just
he just went to the
Rockets. He ended his career in Houston.
By that time, I say after they made the Western Conference Finals, he was done.
He was older. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't jump out the gym no more. You know, he lost his explosion. Charles was done around that time. So, you know what I'm saying? Like when he first got to Houston, he still had some juice left, but after that, he was done. You know what I'm saying? Charles was still giving you about 14 rebounds a game when he got to Houston. When he first got to Houston, like in '96. But after that, you know what I'm saying? Houston, as a franchise, they got old. You know what I'm saying? It came Olajuwon, his knees was messed up. You know, they just got old. So that was them.
Yeah, and then messed him up when they got Scotty, and Scotty didn't do what he was supposed to do, which was be the number one.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think is better? Charles Barkley or Karl Malone?
I got Barkley That's who I got is Barkley over Malone.
Barkley, I would say Barkley over Malone. He was able to do more than Karl Malone was.
Right. He did a lot more.
You know,
What about
as
you,
far as like Charles Barkley was somebody that had the ability to take the ball off the backboard and go coast to coast and finish by himself and start a fast break by himself and finish. You know what I'm saying? That's something Karl Malone couldn't do. He was just as good in the post. He could stretch the floor out. He had more range too. So.
Karl was a better scorer, but Charles was the better all-around player and could do more.
Yeah, he could do.
But Karl was the better scorer, though. Karl was a beast at scoring, especially off of that pick and roll. That he used to kill everybody with that shit.
Lethal.
Him and Stockton.
Yeah, lethal. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, like Charles. Plus, Charles he was a good passer too. That's an underrated.
Yeah, he was a better passer than Malone. I give him that. Yeah,
that's one thing too. So overall, I would say Charles Barkley over Malone.
Sam Cassell should be a head coach. Yeah, he should be. Sam Cassell should have been a head coach long time ago.
Who is he? He's the assistant coach for the Clippers, right? There we go.
He with the Clippers still? I thought he was with he stayed. I thought he went down with Doc. Didn't he go with Doc to Philly?
I check.
It'll probably be somebody else.
Yeah, the Rockets only team. Well, yeah, the Rockets beat him because Ralph Sampson and Akeem was giving Kareem and them problems. Down low.
Oh no, he with Philly. Okay, no, he with Philly. Philly.
That what you call that was just a bad matchup for the Lakers.
Yeah, it was. That was a real bad matchup.
Y'all
you gotta deal with 2 7-footers. You gotta deal with like 2 7-footers. Oh, that's a problem.
Maxwell was killing. Yeah, Vernon Maxwell was killing us too but Vernon went on the team at that time. We weren't really. He was a year before.
Vernon Maxwell. You talking about Vernon Maxwell?
Vernon Maxwell had left. I think he left in the middle of the playoffs.
Yeah, he did.
And people couldn't believe that. Like he just up and just said, "I'm out."
What's up, DC? Yeah, he was. He was a better shooter and rebounder. Yeah, I agree.
Karl was better. Karl was better. He was better. He had more touch in the mid range. He had more touch around the mid range than Charles did. As far as
he did. Yeah, like I said,
Charles had more range. Charles had a little more range than
Karl. Karl was a beast at scoring, man. He was he could score from anywhere.
Yeah, Charles could shoot threes, eh? Charles was a little crunchy.
Yeah, Charles could shoot threes. Charles could go from coast to coast, and he was a better post player, and he was a better rebounder than Karl. Charles was always he was strong as hell.
To answer your question, Clark, I will go with the Glide.
You said who's better, Paul the Truth or Clyde?
Clyde.
Well, they're 2 different positions though. But I would go with Paul Pierce over Clyde Drexler.
I would go Paul Pierce over Clyde.
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler?
Clyde.
Absolutely.
He used to give Jordan the business in the night.
Yeah, he did, but Paul used to give people the business too. Paul was a better shooter. He was clutcher than him. And he could rebound better than Clyde.
Clyde was somebody. I would say Clyde was a better defender than Paul Pierce. But the thing about Clyde Drexler is
defender. Yeah, he was better defending, but he wasn't clutch. Clyde used to choke all the time.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Clyde was, Clyde was somebody that, he was somebody that was better at playing within the flow of the team's offense. He was never a player that could. He was never a player that could take over a game, you know what I'm saying? And
not like the Truth. Not like Paul, nigga. Paul could take that bitch over.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
I understand giving it to Paul because at least he got a championship.
I mean, it's
not even about championship. I don't look when I look at players, I don't go by championship. I go by their skill and their level of situation, how they do in games. And Paul was just better. Plus, Clyde had better teams than Paul for majority of his career.
Yes, he did.
Like way better talent than Paul had.
Yes, he did.
So it's like the talent Paul played with and got those teams to the playoffs.
Yeah, those Blazers teams were wicked, man. They were nice, man.
What? Come on. Yeah,
the Blazers teams could have won. Actually, they could have won. Really, if Clyde, if he would have just, he didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? That team was they had a complete team in '92. Man, they could have won, but they just didn't show up.
Felt it. Rockets also beat the Lakers 81 as well. Yeah, they sure did. Yeah,
that was when they had Moses Malone actually back then.
Yep. Everybody forget Moses came from Houston and went to Philly.
And that was Moses. That was a young Moses Malone.
Yeah,
young Moses Malone, dog.
That was a scary
Moses Malone.
A young and skinnier Moses Malone.
Played in Houston. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Came from the ABA. Came out of high school. That's one thing the ABA actually had over the NBA before. They were the first to start drafting high school, underclassmen.
What's everyone's Mount Rushmore players of y'all favorite team? No, I'll just do a top 5. I don't do Mount Rushmore. For my team, I would have Penny, T-Mac. I would have HDiiTV. I would go D Howard and probably say Shaq. D Howard and Shaq. That'll be my 5.
Okay, for the Lakers, I'll say Kobe, Magic. You can say Kareem and Elgin Baylor and Jerry West.
That's a good 5. What about you, Mac? Your favorite team?
Well, I'll go with the Lakers too. I mean, Kobe, Kareem, Magic. Y'all gonna be like, I'm gonna go with Bron still, you know what I'm saying? Bron.
You say you're going with LeBron?
Who else?
Was that 4? I got one more.
Yeah, that was 4.
You would put LeBron in the all-time Lakers?
And hold up. Bron. Well, just think about it as a team, you know what I'm saying? Bron.
Man, you lucky you ain't next to a Laker fan right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to give
you
the benefit of the doubt because I really don't know about players like Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt because
you would put LeBron with the all-time Cleveland team. He would be top 5 for that.
The Cleveland team.
Yeah.
Who's in Cleveland, man? Who's in Cleveland?
I mean, he played the majority of his years. He played the majority of his years.
Ron Harper. Shit,
he's not all-time great though. But I think if it was 5-on-5, you got to put Bron in there. So.
Hell no, not for the Lakers.
Not for the Lakers, maybe for Cleveland, but
for Cleveland and like Cleveland and Miami, you would do that. Not no damn Lakers.
Yeah, plus he played the majority of his career in Cleveland, so it's like
he just passed Magic in assists.
Yeah, I mean he's played for 20 years. Magic only played for 10 or less. Nigga, what are you talking about? You should pass him. Yeah. Like y'all don't understand. Like stats don't mean shit because each era the stats changes. But dude, the era changes, Mac. This era now, you could get 15 assists just walking on the court.
True.
You can.
So what are the stats for then, right?
Stats to me, what stats are for? Stats are just to show the player like what they did. Other than that, stats don't mean you were shit. I mean, there's been plenty of players who done put up all these stats, but ain't do shit when the playoffs came.
Like your boy Bron, but yeah. What's up, T?
Nick Jacobs, what's going on?
Hey,
T, you saw that pivot with Zeke?
Nah, I did not see it.
Yeah, man. He exposed Mike. Him and Mike were buddies, man. Like his family used to chill with Mike's family.
But my thing is, you saying he exposed Mike. All he did was basically say stuff that I already knew. I'm
Nigga,
like,
I didn't
of
know
course he
that.
was
Yo,
I didn't know that.
I'm
Of course he
from
was
That's
Michael
what
Chicago.
man
Jordan.
known
Look,
that.
listen, man, Trey.
I
I'm
didn't
from
know
Chicago,
that.
and I didn't
I
even
didn't
know
know
that
that
Zeke
at
looked out for
all.
Mike like that, dude.
I didn't know that him and
Everybody
Mike
didn't
were
know that.
cool. Like his sister was chilling with Mike's brother. I didn't know that shit.
You
I didn't
never
know
read the
he was
book?
throwing Mike around in the west side of Chicago. I didn't know that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, him
Because
and
I
Michael
already
was
knew some
close.
of that stuff. I'm like, of course, you and him was buddies. Y'all
Okay,
used to hang
Trey,
out
you
together.
knew
We
that
used
shit.
to
You
gamble
and L,
together.
listen, you and LB and Christian gotta understand. You knew that shit, but that person like myself and others may not have known it.
Take yourself out of
That's
the
what I'm
equation.
saying.
Please stop doing that.
T, did you know that shit?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, then. So
I read it in
that's
the
what
book.
I'm saying.
They used to gamble hard together. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I guess I don't know if they gambled together. I'm just saying that I didn't know they were cool like that. And like for him to expose that, that's a big deal. Like putting that out there. Because you got Michael Jordan's stick rider Oakley around here trying to say people need to be friends when they were friends before y'all were together.
Right.
So it's like, what is you talking about, bro? You just made yourself look real dumb.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oakley's
Mike
just an
always
enforcer. He ain't no real ball player like that.
Yeah, but what you saying?
Go ahead, T.
Mike was always a little envious of Isaiah. You know what I'm saying?
A little. That nigga was a lot, nigga. That nigga was a lot envious of that nigga. He
Imagine,
the only one who
but
bring that shit up.
but
He
you
just didn't have the
would be
charm
envious,
that
bruh. You
Isaiah
would
had.
be envious too if you got beat by the same person year after year after year. You would be angry.
Nah, but see, to get beat is one thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to lose to somebody.
Yeah, you can't be
You
a
know what
sore
I'm saying?
loser.
So it ain't just about winning and losing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Man,
Mike has
block him
held
from
this
the green
grudge
team.
for, you know what I'm saying, 40 years now. I mean, what is since
Going
the
on
80s?
30.
So
How you gonna block
going
Isaiah
on
from the
40
dream team?
years and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, you had a chance to let all of that shit go in the documentary and shit. You know what I'm saying? And all you did was show people that you still bitter about shit.
All you did was bitch
Exactly.
and moan even more. And it's like,
But
bro, you beat him already.
but also and everything, you also got to look at it is that he also got exposed on the thing where he's like, okay, you calling Isaiah asshole, but you were being an asshole to everybody, including the guy who got you 6 championships, the whole documentary. So like a lot of shit was oxymoronic.
It's like,
you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
and then he said
after the documentary, everybody basically started to turn on him because it's like, okay, first you brought up the story with Horace Grant. Horace Grant found out about that. Now he don't like you no more. Then you put out the whole thing with Pippen and what happened with
look,
that.
bro, look, man.
But also,
But everybody knew about that Pippen thing.
Yeah, everybody knows MJ's an asshole.
Yeah, but also, and everything is that you took guys from the Pistons and put them on your team when you basically said that they were bad for basketball, but you took the players from the Pistons and put them on your team. It don't
crazy. How ironic. Not just the Pistons, but hey, you took a Celtic too.
So you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like this was a great interview because it showed. Now the only thing I was upset about is they didn't talk about the CBA. I wanted to hear about that, how the NBA how they snowballed him with that once he got the CBA. That's what I wanted them to talk about.
Well, you know he can't talk about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I figured that because he's with the NBA now. But I'm just saying, like, it would have been good to hear that. That's the only thing, like, I really wanted to hear was that, because I already knew about the coaching things when he got screwed.
Yeah, in Indiana, you mean?
No, Indiana, and FIU. Remember, he went to go coach FIU, and he finally got his team together his third year. He finally got his team together his third year, and they fired him prematurely and brought in Rick Pitino.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a good gem right there. That was a great gem they brought up. Yeah,
that
was like, very good.
And it's like when he got the Indiana Pacers ready, he had all those pieces on that team, and they were ready to win. They were ready to win.
They were a good team under him.
They ended up, and Bird freaking said, "I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna get my friend in here to coach this squad." And it's like,
Rick Carlisle. Yeah,
I'm gonna get my good friend, my role buddy, the guy who used to carry my bags when we played for the Celtics. I'm gonna get him to coach. It's crazy,
right?
Because unlike you, he gonna do what I say do. Just shut up, coach this team the way I want it to be coached.
The way he wanted to be coached. It's like,
yeah, and that's why they dumbass lost.
Yo, was Larry Bird a coach too? He was a coach.
Yeah, he was.
He coached him before. He coached him before Isaiah did.
He coached them niggas to an L.
Yeah, in the finals, we got him.
Sure did.
Remember, he coached that 2000 Indiana Pacers team.
Yeah, he coached them straight to an L.
Well, like I said, man, they all made it in the finals in 2000, but by that time it was too late.
They could have made it. They could have made it to the finals in '98. You know, they could have beat the Bulls if
98. They had 98, 99. By 2000, it was too late.
If you would have kept Jalen Rose and played him in the fourth quarter, they could have beat him. They could have beat the Bulls.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They could have beat the Bulls, bro. They had no answer for Jalen Rose.
And then Jalen Rose was talking about I found this ironic. He was like, when I first got there to Indiana, I really wasn't playing because Larry Brown did not like me because they traded Mark Jackson to get him, and he didn't like the fact that they traded Mark Jackson. So basically, he treated me like crap the whole time.
Wait, what now?
They traded Mark Jackson to get Jalen Rose, and Larry Brown didn't like that, so he took it out on Jalen Rose.
That's his dumbass fault because they could have won.
Who said that? Jalen Rose?
Yeah, Jalen Rose said that.
He's talking shit, man. Jalen Rose is just trash.
No, Jalen Rose wasn't trash. No, hell no. Jalen Rose was a solid player.
He might not have been a superstar, but he was pretty solid.
Yeah, he was a solid player.
Dropped 81 on his ass one time.
Nah, Kobe didn't drop all 81 on Rose.
No, that's the misconception about that game. They act like he dropped all that on Jalen Rose. Like, no, he went all on Jalen Rose.
He dropped it all on your team, nigga. That's what he did. You know, he ain't dropping it all. He
just likes to tell the story because he was there when it happened.
Nah, he don't like to tell the story. They just kept bugging him about the story. So he was like, F it.
Yeah, he just had to come to grips with
at least
like you didn't get it's like you didn't get all 81, but you got some of that 81.
He got about 20.
Yeah, he got 20. Yeah, Kobe divvied it up amongst the whole team.
Yeah, just like dog. You gotta. It's like dog. Somebody just go out there and stop him and shit.
Right.
I'd be like, dog. If I was I'd be like, punch him, hit him in the stomach or something. Do something.
Man, Kobe was on a mission that night.
He's like, oh, Jalen Rose. Easy pickings. What's Jalen Rose known for?
His ball handling skills and his passing.
That's what it was, eh? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was very underrated passing, his ball handling skills. He was able to, he was a mismatch.
6'8". He was a point guard.
Yeah, he was a point guard at 6'8", and then he could get to that second level. That's what made him dangerous. That's why they were giving the Bulls problems. Because he kept killing that nigga who everybody loved, Pippen, getting to that next level on their ass.
Yeah, dude. That's what I be talking, bro. That's what I be talking about, bro. Like nobody, the little shoot. This I don't even know if I was on that stream, y'all. That might have been on something else. But now, UNC was talking about how Pippen used to, He used to get torched by dudes, bro. Like freaking
that
Dominique.
was on that Knicks and Bulls, the first Knicks and Bulls game.
Oh,
and it was afterwards. I hopped on that bitch with him, and just explaining what Pippen was. I mean, and then at the end, Kyrie like agreed with me. I'm like, bro, like I watched this nigga Pippen. Like I don't know why people act like this nigga was like when we played the Bulls, we did not fear him. Yeah. We were worried about Horace Grant. Right. We were worried about
Jalen Rose was trash to me, dog.
Rose not trash, but we were worried about Horace Grant and everything getting all the boards because we didn't really have a power forward at the time. We had Shaq, that was it. And then they had him and Cartwright. Grant and Cartwright was killing us down low. And then in the perimeter, we worried about Jordan because that's Jordan. So nobody cared about Pippen. It's like, who the hell is this nigga? Like, he was there.
Check this out, man. When Dominique and Mike used to go at it, bro, Dominique used to freaking go through Pippen every freaking time, bro. Every time he seen Pippen face, he used to freaking drop.
Man, Dominique used to shit on both. Dominique used to shit on both them niggas. Dominique gave everybody.
That's what I'm saying, bro. When the Bulls and the Hawks
That's what I'm saying.
Even Dominique, when he was when he was like playing for San Antonio, dude.
Y'all think Dominique should have won that slam dunk competition?
He came to play for us for a little bit, and he was giving us buckets, nigga. Like Dominique was a freak of nature. I remember Dominique. I just don't remember this nigga Pippen like being that player, nigga. I just don't. Nigga. I don't remember this nigga. Like I don't remember this nigga being that nigga. I remember Dominique like for small forwards. If you want to talk about the three before Grant Hill got there. Nigga, Dominique was the three. Him and Bird were the threes. I remember at the small forward or power forward position, but I ain't remember no Pippen like that, nigga. Like
James Worthy was another one, bro.
Worthy too.
Yeah,
man.
big
like,
game.
Come on, stop it. Like, come on, stop. Nigga, Robert Horry was giving that nigga business, dog. For the Rockets, when they played against the Bulls with Pippen on, they used to give Pippen the business.
Man, y'all remember what's his name? Reggie Williams, man. He used to torch Pippen too, bro. Reggie Williams.
For who?
He played for what's his name? I think he played for Denver, actually.
He played for the Nuggets.
He played for Denver.
Yeah.
Ooh, Reggie Williams?
Yeah, I remember Reggie Williams, he used to kill Pippen too. But like guys like Chris Mullin used to get off on Scotty. You know what I'm saying?
Scotty would always miss Rose, Mac. I think you meant Malik Rose. Not Malik wasn't trash either. What is y'all talking about?
Malik put that work on Shaq too, boy. Come on.
Yo, Jalen Rose is trash.
None of the Roses were trash, nigga.
Right. Derrick Rose, Jalen Rose, Derrick Rose.
Of course, Derrick Rose was better. I mean, but Derrick Rose game he's a superstar. That doesn't mean Jalen and wasn't trash, nigga.
Wasn't Jalen on that 5-5 team that lost?
Yeah, the Fab Five team that lost, but they revolutionized college basketball, though. Mashburn. Yeah, Mashburn,
the person who dropped 50 on.
Mashburn, I had his shoes, too.
I used to have his jerseys, the Mashburn. That was the shit.
Oh, yeah, Dumas. Yeah, before he got on. Yeah, Dumas on coke. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we remember him.
Yeah,
we remember
of course, Grant Hill. Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah, Grant Hill was a beast. Yeah, I remember Grant.
Like I said, Grant Hill.
Nice too, yeah.
Like I said, Grant Hill was killing Mike and Pippen. So,
Grant Hill was the next Mike, no? Weren't they saying that?
You said who?
Grant Hill. They're like, oh, he was the next Mike.
He was gonna be. He was after Michael.
Grant wasn't none like Mike. Grant was Grant was gonna be Grant Hill, nigga. He was gonna be Grant.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that his number? It was number 23 too.
No, he didn't. He
had number 33.
Oh, 33.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's up, Phil?
And the Denver Nuggets is killing Memphis right now, man.
I saw it earlier, man. At Memphis, they got their guys coming back from injury, but they ain't gonna beat Memphis tonight. Who won earlier, the Knicks, the Warriors?
Oh, the Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks ran them off the floor.
And that's why I told them, man. Then we said Detroit T and Nick. We were saying that they shouldn't have paid Poole or Wiggins. They should have kept that bread.
Yeah, you shouldn't have paid Poole or Wiggins.
Hell no, they shouldn't have paid Poole or Wiggins. I said that before the season. I said you stupid.
So you gonna trade it though? I'm saying
well, Steph hurt. You know what I'm saying? Steph, he
but I'm just saying I've seen Wiggins before. I know how Wiggins is, dog. Wiggins is. I mean, he's a good role player when he doesn't have pressure on him, but when the pressure get to him, dog, he folds.
Yeah, man. You know, Draymond dropped his you know what I'm saying, his daily triple single, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you already know that. Man, Dre trying to get up out of there. He trying to go somewhere else.
Draymond at this point, like, man, I'm just gonna try to move through this. I'm not even. No, I ain't thinking about this.
Draymond's not the best defensive player. What did they say? He's one of the best.
Draymond's more of he's a better help defender than a one-on-one defender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, system.
Yeah, that's right. That's Draymond.
Like if it's a one-on-one defender, like he's good, but like he could guard certain people. But sometimes you can get him. Like you could get him, like if you get him off his square a little bit. But he's better as a help defender and being a communicator of the defense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Draymond's expertise. You know what I'm saying? It's help defense. You know, that's his expertise.
Yeah, I spoke on the Club Shay Phil. Yeah, it was a great interview. That was like one of the best ones that Shay's done.
Man, did y'all see Dion's leg and his foot?
Yeah, both his toes gone.
Yeah, I remember when they had to remove it because they did like a little mini documentary, like when he was at Jackson State. I remember when they actually had to remove it. I didn't know his leg was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad, dog. He had blood clots, dog.
Like when they said, "Oh, they're gonna have to amputate his toes," I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
they amputated his toes. They amputated his toes.
They amputated his toes? Oh shit!
Yeah, dog. Yeah, he had blood clots in his leg. If they didn't cut them toes off, he'd have died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord he's still with us, man.
Yeah, facts.
I didn't even know that.
It was a good interview. They showed Colorado and all that. They showed the university. It was cool.
And then they're giving Dion a hard time, man. Let that man live, man. Yo, the man got his toes cut. Y'all trying to steal from the man. Yo,
I'm like, bro, y'all just. Yeah, I'm like, I can see it if he just, if he just said, man, I don't want to be here no more or whatever. But I understood why he left because, he got tired of paying for everything out of his own pockets. They was taking his money. They was basically lying to him, saying there ain't no money.
Exactly.
Well, y'all
it's like they don't put any. It's like they don't put any funds into these HBCUs, dog. I mean, it's not even. It's bad.
Yeah,
they do put funds into the They put funds into the HBCUs. The problem is that the niggas that are there, they steal the shit.
That's what, that's
what they do.
Take the money, like the money that's donated to them, and the money that's given to the schools. They take it and then they put it in their pockets. Because when I was going to school at TSU, our president and all those people on the board were fired and arrested because they were stealing like damn near millions of dollars out the budget.
Wow.
And
so that's like you gotta understand, it's like that's black colleges. It's like people always say, well, what's wrong with black colleges? I mean, the problem is you got to me, everybody that's at the head, the presidents and all them, they some sambo ass niggas, dog. They don't care about the students. And then the employees there, they treat the students like crap. That's why the students don't even want to come back or even get back to the schools. Because the whole environment, how they're treated and shit. And I've said this for 20 years. I've said this is why HBCUs suck, because I actually went to one. So somebody tried to tell me about this and that. I'm trying to tell them this.
He basically exposed, and then another thing he exposed how some of them schools be getting underpaid by when they play them big program, when they go up against them big programs, they put them small schools up against them big programs. They basically be getting less money than they should be getting.
Yeah, because they got to pay for the trip, they got to pay for the plane, they got to pay for the food, they got to pay for the hotels, they got to pay for all that shit.
That's why they don't even break even, man. When they go to them games.
Right, Joe. Everybody knows this about black colleges.
You pay for all that just to go get beat.
This ain't nothing new, man. Like, we've been knowing this about black colleges. The thing is, they don't want to change it. Dion could have been there for 5 or 10 years. It would not have changed. It
would have been the same thing.
Right. They would have done the same.
I want to know if Gilly the Killer is still going to go to Jackson State.
And then as soon as he finds something better, they get mad like, oh, he's sell out. He sold out for the money. It's like, dog, the people in Colorado said, we don't have enough to pay. We don't have enough to pay Dion $5 million. And he was like, I'm fine with that because I ain't doing it for the money.
And his mom withheld that information. His family members died from blood clots. Oh, yeah, that shit was funny when he said that to Shannon. That she withheld all that information from him.
Right. You wait till I'm on my deathbed.
Right. To let me know. Let me know about my blood clots.
You wait till I'm about to die to tell me that.
Well, yeah, I mean they did do that. You're right. Yeah, they aired out the JSU bullshit, but it's just not JSU. Like, black people only focus on a piece of the pie and not the whole pie. And this is the problem with black people. They focus on one thing. They don't focus on the big picture of the whole thing. Exactly. They don't care.
I guarantee you, if Dion sat down with all of them and he showed them the books, and he'll be like, dog, this is what y'all should be getting right here. Y'all not getting this.
Of course they're not going to get it, dog, because you got your leadership. If your leadership is greedy and loves to take from the student body, it's going to continue to stay that way. Look, I've wrote papers on this. I've talked about this for 20-some years. I already know what the hell's going on before even Dion said it. You guys found out about it. Y'all found out, but I've been on this shit because I went to a black college.
On it, like you wrote papers?
Yeah, I wrote papers on it. Yeah, I wrote stuff on this shit and everything. Like, on HBCUs, I talked about all of this and stuff. Like, it's the same shit. If you don't treat your student body with respect, or treat the people who are going there to school, who's going there to, like, they're a part of you. Like, see, this is the problem, is that, everybody want to talk about, like the dude said about Dion, oh, I'm swag, I'm swacking this. Well, a lot of your people don't act like it because you guys screw the damn people over that's in school. Like the kids that take them 4 hours, damn near a whole day, just to enroll into a class. You get ran around the whole campus. They send you to the end of the campus, to the front of the campus, to the side of the campus, until you end up back to where you started at, and you get everything done right there. So it's like, well, why the hell did y'all send me on this wild goose chase? That was dumb. You could have just got it done here. So the process, as far as inside the school and the employees, the enrollment, and the FAFSA, the people who deal with all of that stuff, dog, is bad. It's terrible. And until you change that, your culture is still going to be the same. It doesn't matter about what you do, like, as far as, oh, if you win and do all this, even if you're winning, fam, you've been winning for years, they still get treated like shit because it's the people that's at the top. You got to stop the people from the top. You got to put people in there who really give a damn about the kids. If they don't care about the kids, then why are they in that position? Everybody's like, oh, I get a check. Well, okay, that's cool. You get a check. You get a good check. You can live good off of that check. But at the end of the day, nigga, you're not going to be here forever. The next generation is coming. The generation after that's coming. And that's where I have a big problem with a lot of these HBCUs and these blacks. Like Chance came on here saying, oh, well, Trump gave us money and that. Okay, I don't care if Trump gave us money. The kids aren't seeing it, nigga. It doesn't matter. That money is going to their pockets to go buy a new Bentley, to buy a caddy, and go to buy some bitches or do whatever they do on their spare time. And the student body is eating cardboard pizza at lunch, nigga. So I'm just saying, it's all this shit is stuff that should have been open a long time ago. It should have been brought to the forefront, but black people don't give a shit. Black people with their fake outcries. They want to get mad about a white boy saying something about
black folks getting called out by HD.
And then my thing was, I'm like, college football as a whole, y'all, man, now everybody's starting to find out about these NIL deals is the fact that, like, with Texas A&M, they was like, some of the players are transferred because they didn't get what they said they was going to get. I said they did that to y'all on purpose because they was like, okay, we recruited this player and put him on the field. If he don't perform to the level that we think he should be performing, we can take his money away from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like the NFL. Only difference is it's the NIL. Like, if you don't perform, nigga, they'll just take your shit away. I mean, listen, yeah, you get paid your money doing this, but dog, you gotta perform. You got to show up. Like, you're getting paid now, so now they're going to be expecting you to show up. If you don't show up or show that you're impactful or show that you're performing well, yeah, you're going to get that shit taken away. It is what it is.
And people forget to think about this too. All the HBCU schools, which one has ever moved up?
None.
They don't have the money to do it.
State. I think Appalachian State was one.
And he said, and Dion even said that, like, in order for a HBCU to move up, it's like certain requirements that they got to meet.
Yeah, which is education-wise. And education in HBCUs, if you've been there, is terrible. Look at what FAMU went through. Their half or most of their team is like disqualified. Ineligible. Thanks, Joe Cool. They were ineligible because of the dumbass teachers and the employees, the president and them. They dropped the ball. They have them taking classes that they don't need to. And that's another problem with HBCUs. They let you take classes that don't transfer either into the real world or even if you're trying to go to another college. So the accreditation is all messed up. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what is that, like an honorary degree that they give like rappers and shit?
What you mean? You said what? You said what, man? No, what'd you say, Matt?
I'm saying, is it like an honorary degree that they give rappers and shit, you know?
No, I mean, it's not even that, like, honorary. It's no such thing. You get a degree.
No, because you're saying it's not accredited to other.
Okay, this is what it accredited schools and everything. The thing, what I mean by that is, let's say you're taking a science class, right?
Right.
Okay, but because of a number that's off, or because of certain teachings of the book, it can't be accredited at a bigger school, which means you don't get, how do I say it? You don't get a pass for that class because it doesn't fit the requirements at another school. So this is why a lot of people hate going to HBCUs as well, because they may want to transfer back home to a junior college or to a college that's higher than that college you're at, and they can't transfer all their credits over there because accreditation is your credits that you get to lead up to graduation. So if you can't transfer over to this school over here, let's say that you're only 3 credits from graduating. You could mess around and have to do a whole nother semester or 2 just to meet back to that same requirement to graduate. So that's what I mean by accreditation.
That's a hustle. to me, what I'm hearing is like a scheme.
No, it's not a hustle. It's a scam.
Yeah, it's a scam.
That's not a hustle. That's a scam.
That's
Because they're making you believe, okay, if I go here and everything, if I go there, okay, you know, you're not able to transfer those credits, and that mess a lot of people up because some people may have to go home because of family problems. Their mom may be sick, dad may have died, or whatever you want to say, and they can't transfer their whole credits over there because it's not accredited by the school they're going to. So now they have to start like 2 grades over something.
Right.
So so it's a lot of stuff that's going on. That Dion hit the nail, but he didn't put that nail in the damn wood. Like I put it in the wood tonight, but he already started hitting the nail and opening it up to people, like what's really going on.
Right.
Like he basically was touching the surface. He didn't actually go for the jugular of the soul.
Let me ask you a question. If Dion fails in his first year at this new college, you think it's going to be looked at like tarnish his image a bit?
I mean, it depends on who you talk to about it. If you're talking about mainstream media, or I like to call the multi-ethnical destruction in America media, which is the pink folk, or those that are the Jews, the punk ass Jews, then yeah, it would be a failure to them. But to us, like we understand is that it's going to take him a couple years to get it together because he has to get his talent in there and he has to get the right players that are going to assist him.
I think about this too. He's coming into a school. They only won 1 game last year.
Exactly, exactly. Joe.
There's really no expectations. There are really no expectations of them being
right,
in a top team.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Daryl Jones, you're right. Grambling State should have been in the Division I way before Appalachian State. I agree. You're absolutely correct. So I give Prime 2 to 3 years. Yeah, that's what they need to give him.
Yep.
His dog Kens know the ledge, not a G in my name.
And he did more in those 2.5 years than a lot of schools will ever do, will ever accomplish.
Yeah, but Dion's always been a guy who's going to be great regardless. Like wherever he goes, that's just who he is. You know, they're just mad because they can't eat off his name no more, and they can't get away with lowballing him because they wanted to use his name, you know, by pushing their agenda, but they didn't want to pay him for using his name. So that basically is worse than what the white folks doing to you.
Yeah, like I said, everybody talks about how bad white people treat you. I said black people will treat you just as worse.
Oh, absolutely, because we're the only race that'll build you up and then tear your ass down. Absolutely.
Yo, HD. Somebody told me that HBCUs were created by slave masters.
Yeah, that was Chance saying that.
Slave children.
Yeah, that's what Chance was saying. I mean, look, black colleges were made because blacks couldn't go to school with the white folks. The same as everything else. Then as it got older, they started seeing it really started with sports because we was whooping their ass in sports. So then that's when they started wanting to integrate to try to weaken the black colleges from being better than their colleges. Because the black colleges like TSU, Grambling State, and them, they used to beat the Ohio States, all of them back in the day. Used to whoop their ass.
Okay.
So
it's just like baseball and all that other shit. For real.
Yeah, baseball the same way, like the Negro leagues, and then traveling circuit of black folks that used to travel on the road and play ball. Like, dog, we've always been impactful. And our problem is we don't see how impactful we are. That's our problem. We've been subjected to
made us the salt of the earth, man. Like, dude, we're the best
basketball
players players. We're the best football players. We're the best baseball players. I mean, we're the best football players, soccer players, bro. I mean, dude, come on.
We dominate everything. Think about the North Carolina Central. Their basketball team beat Duke in a secret game.
Right.
They never talked about that. They never talk about that.
Leo, Deion overpaid his dudes, bruh. He started in Little League, then he went to high school, then created his own school and battled. Then he's in college, went to HBCU, bruh. Jeff Saturday has never coached a damn day of his life, but this year he was white privilege at its finest. He should have never got the job with the Colts, and I'm being proven right as always. Thank you. Yep. He should have never been a damn coach. The only reason the coach,
they ain't asked Deion to do it.
Right. The only reason he's the coach is because him and the guy are drinking buddies. They homeboys. You know that, Leo. Like he don't have the resume. Like Josh McDaniels became a coach, but he got the resume to be a coach. Way more than Saturday.
Saturday went undrafted. Didn't he go undrafted? Didn't he get undrafted? He was undrafted, right?
Who?
Jeff Saturday, when he got picked and when he made the NFL, he wasn't even drafted.
I don't think he was drafted. I mean, he was a great center now. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. He was a great center. But I'm just saying is that he doesn't have people forget. Jeff Saturday got put in a position like Steve Nash got put in a position. They're homeboys. The general manager, which is Sean Marks, was homeboys with Nash. They played the Phoenix together. Then you got Jeff Saturday, who was cool with Jim Irsay, and he was put in that position to be the coach, and it was a slap in the face. And I'm glad Bill Cowher aired his bitch ass out, and I'm glad Joe Thomas aired his bitch ass out, because that's what they should have done. Because when they just put anybody in there, it's like, okay, well, okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, stop. No. Yep. Bill Russell had never coached either up until 1966, but who cares when you win 2 NBA championships in 68 and 69?
As a player coach.
Auerbach passed him to be the coach, but dude, Bill Russell used to help with the schemes and the offense and the defense. Like he helped Red Auerbach create the plays.
Dude, like really, Bill Russell was the coach on the floor.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Jeff Saturday never was the coach on the field, nigga. Like, what are you talking about? Peyton Manning was the coach of that team on offense. Wasn't no Jeff Saturday.
And you know he wasn't gonna ask Peyton Manning. Because him and Peyton Manning.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. You already know, Trey. Him and Peyton don't like each other.
He don't like him. Peyton Manning don't like him so bad. He retired as a Bronco. He was like, I'm retired as a double Bronco.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not cool because how Irsay just pushed him out the back door was real messed up. You know, and I don't like Peyton Manning, but for what he did for your franchise, dog, come on. Right, Melo. Like, yeah, like if Jeff Saturday would have been an offensive line coach, like, okay, you know, but a head coach, dog, it is tough being a head coach, bro. You got to be able to handle both sides of the ball, your special teams. You got to be able to talk to the players, relate to the players. Dude, Jeff Saturday out there looking like he lost, and he thinking about where he going to go tomorrow.
Right.
So who's the best coach of all time?
In what sport? I mean, you can't, like, what, college, pros? Like, what are we talking about?
The pros in the NFL.
Like, in what sport?
The NFL.
The greatest coach of all time to me in the NFL?
It's several.
It is. It's tough because you would put Walsh up there.
Yeah.
Landry would be up there. Lombardi would be up there.
Shula.
Yeah, Shula. Don Shula. Yep. Shula's up there. The Tuna Parcells is up there.
Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, Gibbs is up there.
John Madden. I'll say John Madden a little bit. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I thought the other coach was better than John Madden, the guy who replaced him. I thought he was better.
yeah,
Chuck
yeah.
Knowles up there.
No,
So it's
it's
hard.
many, man.
Tony Dungy's up there as well too. You got to give it to him.
Uh-huh.
Dungy created that whole defense in Tampa.
Ray Rhodes was good.
Yeah, Ray Rhodes was good.
He was like,
Nobody voted for Belichick.
Huh?
Belichick.
Yeah, Belichick's up there. I mean,
He's a better defensive coach.
Belichick, to me, he made it because Brady was there, and to me, he's a better defensive coach. He's a great defensive coach than he is a head coach. That's just my opinion.
He's the reason why them Giants teams won them Super Bowls.
Yeah. His defensive schemes and the ability to work around Lawrence Taylor on those schemes. Him and Harry Carson were like Harry Carson is the Mike linebacker, able to go off of those blitzes and those schemes that they had, and then you had LT, a freak of nature.
Carl Banks. Yep.
And people just ever used to kill. I know LT was that guy. Yeah, LT was that guy on you. He was the guy on your defense, but Carl Banks wasn't chopped liver now.
Exactly.
Carl Banks was good. Banks was good.
All they linebackers was great. They had Banks, they had Carson, they had him. But Leo, a pro athlete does not pay no dues as coaching, dog. Coaching is different, okay? I understand. I understand you shooting bail for Jeff Saturday because that's your fellow guy. You like Saturday. I like Saturday too as a center. Dog, head coaching is not an easy job. You can't just step in there and win it. When you saw what happened to Bill Russell when he was coaching the Sacramento Kings, right? Same having them Celtic teams, right?
Uh-huh.
You gotta learn, man. This is why coaches start from the little leagues to going into the high school, then they go to college, then they go up to the pros, because you gotta learn each level of how to deal with personalities. Then you gotta pay your dues learning how to draw up a game plan, where you're gonna put this guy. Plus, you got a thing called in-game adjustments. That's very hard because you have to be you got to be able to think on your feet like this. Okay, we got to change this. We got to change that at a split second, because your right end could be getting killed on a counter or getting killed on a cutback boot reverse. You got to figure out a way how to either put him in position to make the play, or you might have to move him to the other side and move you. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it, bro. Even in basketball. You see the difference between Jock Vaughn and Nash. One guy adjusts. It's hard. You got to pay your dues. Jock Vaughn paid his dues. He put in that time. He was studying. The coach from Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham put in work. He didn't just step out of the pros and say, "Oh, I'm a coach now." It don't work that way, bro. Trust me. It don't.
Then Jock Vaughn an assistant in Orlando too?
Yeah. He was the head coach.
He was the head coach in Orlando.
Yeah.
He knows, man.
The problem is they didn't win because we had injuries, dog. Like, we just had injuries. Like, because Oladipo was supposed to be the star of our team, but he just kept getting hurt. That's his only problem. He could play the game. He just get hurt too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, he didn't have time. I felt they should have gave him a couple more years. They just got rid of him. They just got rid of him quick, and then they hired Scott Skiles, which was worse. That was the dumbass idea, because he don't know how to adjust. He don't know how to adjust during the game. He stuck with his same guys.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, that football, man, that coaching, man, that's a totally different level, man. I understand why Peyton Manning studied. He audibled a lot. He learned that playbook at the back of his hand, man. It's like, I understand that. Like, wow.
Bro,
he sees something the coaches didn't see.
Right. It's a lot of work being a coach, dog. You can't just step off a plan. You saw what happened to Jason Kidd when he was coaching the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
Dog, like nobody respected him. Nobody was listening to his ass. It's like, bro, we were just playing with you last year, nigga.
It's like, well, whatever.
And then plus he had to learn how to adjust. He got better,
Yeah.
when he actually sat down once he got let go from that job, he actually learned. Like
Then
he
went to
learned
Milwaukee. Didn't he go to
Right.
Milwaukee?
Yep. He went to Milwaukee. And
He learned from there.
He learned from his mistakes, right? So you can't just step in there and think you're going to be successful. That doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't work. You got to know how to talk to players. You got to know how to manage his personality. This dude, you got to talk to him a certain way because he's probably a punk, probably soft as hell. You can't say, bitch, dude. You can't say all that. He gonna want to fight. You got to coddle him. There's a guy over here. You got to cuss his ass out just to get him going. So it's a lot of stuff it is in coaching, bro. It is.
Why you think that bum got the easy rap every year?
Yeah, exactly. No, but the thing with him is that, yeah, of course they were going to make the route easy for him. I mean, they made it easy for Jordan. I mean, they always do that for their superstars, dog. Like, they always do that for their damn superstars. The thing about him is that he never adjusted his game after he lost his athleticism. That's what messed him up.
Right.
That's all he had to do, and he would have been straight. Let's learn how to play off the ball.
All he do is layup. He's a layup person now, like in the layup line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tomlin is good. Tom Coughlin. Coughlin was a beast. What he did with those Giants teams was remarkable. But see,
he tried to do it in Jacksonville before he went there too, right?
He tried to do it in Jacksonville, but they were impatient, like they always are. Then he came back, and then he had a bunch of ussies on the team. One of them was named Ramsey, who tore the damn team apart.
Jalen Ramsey.
Dumbass. Yeah, he tore the team apart, dog. He's
knowing he can't cover, man. You can burn by him quick.
No, it wasn't even that. It's just that he's a crybaby. Like he can't handle when the adversity hits him. Like he he can't handle it, and he wants to fight everybody.
Yep.
Well, I don't put that. I put that on Coughlin because y'all should have never paid that bum of a quarterback, Blake Bortles. And I knew once they did that, I said it's over. This team finna fall apart.
Damn,
no, that wasn't the reason. The reason was because Jalen Ramsey ass can't control his temper. He was a big bitch, and he tore the whole team apart.
Coughlin was a defensive guy first. He didn't care about offense. He was going
everybody like, how in the world does Tom Coughlin keep beating Bill Belichick? I said, stupid. Go back and look at Tom Coughlin's coaching history. Him and Bill Belichick used to be on the same coaching staff.
With the Giants.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah? Oh, shoot.
Oh, Bill Belichick was better than Jim Johnson.
We got Jimmy Johnson. We got Jimmy Johnson.
No, he talking about Jim Johnson. You remember the D coordinator for the Eagles, Jim Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
How come y'all just say Andy Reid? Y'all really hating on Andy Reid right now,
man. He like to pass the ball, man.
What's great about Andy Reid?
He let you throw 60 passes a game.
You brought him up, but what's great about him?
I don't know.
I just always thought Andy Reid had good coaching staffs around him.
That's it.
He's not really.
I'll take Mike Dick over him.
Mike Dick, yeah, hell yeah, I'll take Mike Dick. I don't want Mike Dick as a GM, but I'll take him as a coach.
Yep.
Like I said, after he did that, after that whole thing in New Orleans, no. No.
Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears, Mike Dicker.
For real?
After what he did in New Orleans, I was like, yeah, no. I don't want him nowhere near my team.
Yeah, Andy Reid, Mr. Predictable. Yep, Christopher Goff, he is.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Jalen Ramsey, dude. Everybody in Jacksonville wanted to choke the shit out of Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey tore that team apart.
Yep.
And that's why he's blamed, because you know how I know? You know how I know people? Because I was there during that time. So I know who tore the team apart. It was Jalen Ramsey.
Yep. Didn't Golden Tate want to get at him too?
And Andy Reid is really good. Nah, he's really bad. He's good at eating a sandwich. I give you that. Yeah, in Philly, yeah, he the reason he cost y'all all them games. Them big games, it was Andy Reid. Because he didn't want to run the damn ball.
Yep.
Just
Super
like
Bowl too.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid's a bum, man.
I don't think he's a good head coach either, dog. I just think he was blessed to have good team, like to have good quarterbacks, in my opinion. I've never seen him turn a bum into something.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot about another coach, Dan Reeves.
Yeah, Dan Reeves is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Levy. Yeah, Mark Levy was okay. He gets you there, but he'll lose the big game every time. But he'll get you there, though.
That's my thing with that. I'm like, Dan Reeves, good coach. Last time I checked, every time he got them to the Super Bowl, they just blew it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Him and
He
Mark
went
Levy.
to the Falcons, and they went to the Super Bowl, and he blew that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he got you there, though, didn't he?
And he played his old team. Played Denver.
He got you there. So that's a good coach to me. He got you to at least 4 Super Bowls. Mark Levy, the same thing. They just didn't win it. But that's a good coach, nigga. It's hard to get to a Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Yo, HD, what about your boy John Gruden?
John Gruden is a great quarterbacks coach, but as a head coach, I feel he's vastly overrated. Unless he has a team that's already built, he can't really do anything.
Yeah, that's true. You see him
like if he was the coach of the Dolphins right now with that quarterback, he would be undefeated right now. He could run an offense. He doesn't know how to build the team. That's his problem. The team got to be built for him to succeed.
Okay. Nah, that makes sense. Can't argue with that.
Marvin Lewis was a better D coordinator than coach.
You said Vince Lombardi?
I never rooted for any brother to be fired. But if it was one brother that deserved to get fired, it was him.
It was always disappointing. They could never get out that wild card game.
Right. Tony Dungy was a great coach, dog. Like he knew how to play with. The thing about Dungy that was good, he knew how to play with like less talent on defense, and he knew how to make those guys better. He knew how to adjust to his players. A lot of coaches don't know how to do that. Yeah, Herm was a good coach. Herm just never had the quarterbacks. He always had the bad quarterbacks that never could stay healthy or even be there.
I wouldn't say Chad Pennington was a bad quarterback. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Like I said, he couldn't get a good quarterback. So yeah. Joe Gibbs and Landry. I'll say Gibbs by a little bit, but Landry was a beast though. But Gibbs, I say slightly was better.
I'm out, fellas. Y'all be good.
All right, Joe.
All right, Joe. Cool.
All right, Joe.
Pete Carroll. I don't know though. Pete Carroll, I don't know. I don't like Pete Carroll as a coach.
Oh, I hate Pete Carroll, man. He's trash.
Yeah, I don't like Pete Carroll as a coach.
Especially that blunder of a Super Bowl. Oh, you can never.
Yeah, Dungy was responsible for the 0-2 Bucks Super Bowl. We know that. Everybody know that in St. Pete and Tampa. Everybody know that's Dungy Super Bowl. Nobody get at the Gruden. Only the mainstream media does, and the white boys.
Yeah.
The 1980s Giants is without a doubt the greatest defensive team of all time. No, the 85 Bears were better than them. Sorry.
And you got the steel curtain.
Yeah, and the steel curtain too. And you got the doomsday defense with Dallas too. So, sorry. And then I don't know, that Bucks 03 defense could give them a run for their money too. And the Ravens 2000. You forgot about them.
Ravens 2000. That was ridiculous. That's probably the greatest defense of all time.
I know, from top to bottom, like they had.
That's why I kept telling people, everybody keep talking about the steel curtain. I'm like, bruh, no.
The Ravens are bad still.
Yeah, Dennis Green. Dennis Green was a great coach. Yeah. If it wasn't for Dennis Green, you wouldn't have known about Dungy or Brian Billick. It's because of him you know about them.
Tom Flores.
Oh, Vince Lombardi was a great coach, Felton. What you mean?
They only named the Super Bowl after him.
Right. Right. What'd you think about Dick LeBeau as a defensive coordinator? I think he was overrated. That's just me.
Really?
I wasn't a Dick LeBeau guy. I think he was slightly overrated.
I mean, as a DC, he's probably the greatest DC ever.
I guess. I don't know. I thought I could pick a lot of guys over him. I felt like Marvin Lewis was better as a defensive guy, D coordinator. I felt Buddy. I felt Buddy was better than him. Definitely. I felt what's the other guy name? I think Jim Johnson to give him a run for his money when it comes to them blitz packages. So I mean, he was over. I mean, you could put him in the top 8, top 10, top 15. I don't know. I just never really liked him. I just thought he had great players on his defense that fit his scheme. They made the scheme better. I don't know, Felton. I gotta sit down and it's a lot of NFL championship teams. Some of the teams who didn't even get to the Super Bowl were great teams. So it's hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Tom Flores was great. Yeah, Leo, that's what I'm saying. Dungy was a great coach, dog. Like, he turned that defense around. Like, because that defense, like, when Jim Moore was there, like, they was like paper mache. Defensive teams of all time.
I think, well, they probably, like, if you ask some of the players, who did they like better, Dungy or Jim Moore? They'll probably say they like Dungy better.
I guess so. I don't know. I just think the problem was Peyton Manning was just in his feelings all the time. Jim Moore didn't take that shit. Jim Moore didn't kiss his ass. Top 5.
No, I wouldn't. If I'm an NFL player, we lose the game. You go straight to the press conference and blasted me in front of everybody. It's like, how I'm supposed to feel? I'm not gonna take that wheel.
Yeah, he was supposed to blast his ass because Peyton Manning was playing like
if you
shit.
Blast me behind closed doors. Don't do it in front of the public.
Well, I felt he did the right job because Peyton Manning was being a dickhead behind closed doors. So he got what he deserved because Peyton Manning always was an arrogant piece of shit.
Jim Moore, and he said, you know what? You got two options. It's either I go or he go.
Right. Because Jim Moore got tired of his ass.
The 91 Eagles are nice.
No, the problem with Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning don't see his flaws. He's arrogant. And he was the same way at Tennessee. That's why he never won anything. And then he finally won because the Bears dumbass put Rex Grossman back in instead of riding it out with Orton.
How much rings does Peyton Manning have?
You said what?
How much Super Bowls does he have? Peyton Manning?
Peyton got 2.
And what, he has the record for the most touchdowns or something like that?
Who? No, I think Brady got it. Either Brady or Breeze got it.
Brady broke it.
I think at one point he had it, but I think Brady got it now.
I think first it was Brett Favre, then Manning broke it, and then I think Breeze at one point got it, and then Brady passed Breeze up. So yeah. Because remember, Breeze threw a lot of damn touchdowns during that time.
I didn't even know he had that many. I think he had like 5,000 yard seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, Breeze was killing it. You said top 5 linebackers. I mean, what do you mean? Like
middle,
you mean middle linebacker, the Will or the Sam? Like, what do you mean? Like, what you mean? What linebackers? You guys got to understand, dog. Everybody is 3 positions of linebackers. Then what type of linebackers you talking about? Because you had a 34 defense linebacker.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't really do a top 5, dog. It's hard. Like you could do it in like the line. You could do it as a running back or a wide receiver. Quarterbacks, but defensively it's tough because Ray Lewis is great. Him and Singletary. You got old heads who will put Singletary there. You got the young cats who will put Ray there. Then you got the older cats who put Dick Buckets there. So you got 3 eras of middle linebacker that all 3 changed the game. Then you got your Sam linebackers. So it's like then you got the linebacker that's really a DN, but a stand-up linebacker that revolutionized the position was Lawrence Taylor. So I mean, it's hard. Like you gotta be specific. But if you're talking Mike linebacker, I mean, it's hard, dog, because I got Singletary, Buckets, Lewis, and then the other 2 I got to go back and watch. But those are like your 3 best of all time. So people say the 85 Bears was the best, then the 84 Niners, the 74, 78 Steelers, the 72 Dolphins. Now, the 72 Dolphins, the no-name defense was good. That's underrated.
I'm like, dog, all the thing I got to say as far as great defenses of all time, you a great defense with an opposing player from another great defense say your defense is better than their defense.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're the best because somebody say that. That is probably at that time they felt that way. Yeah, those are 2 good linebackers. LT. Was LT really a linebacker though? LT was more of a defensive end.
Yeah, LT was no linebacker, man.
Right, he was a defensive end. He could cover too, though, but he was more of a defensive end. Nah, I didn't forget the 2000 Ravens, man. Nobody forgets them.
And they about to drop that 30. They finna do a 30 for 30 on them anyway.
Oh, you talking about the 77 Falcons? You talking about the grits
Blitz.
defense?
Man, they was a great defense, but they had one problem. They offense sucked.
Yeah, it did. It was terrible. They offense was worse than the Ravens offense of 2000.
Yep, and then they ran the same scheme the Bears did.
over Urlacher all day. That's not even a question.
You said what?
Lewis over Urlacher.
Oh, of course, Lewis. Ray Lewis was way better than Urlacher. Urlacher was more like a safety converted.
Playing line like they can play in the box.
Right, he was a safety that could play linebacker. That's all. Yeah, Willie Lanier and Bobby Bell were great. I agree, Leo. Yeah, and Felton, I agree.
He hugs at Urlacher. Yeah, with shit.
Well, T Hub is a Chicago Bears fan, so he's biased.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about Jack Ham and Jack Lambert. Yeah, Doomsday was really good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of defenses that don't get no credit because their offense was so good. Like the 49ers, their defense don't get no love because their offense, they always looked at the 49ers like, oh, they're a West Coast team. They are a finesse team. They don't play hard nose football. I'm like, hey,
they always have a good defense.
Their defenses get love. You got Ken Norton, you got Charles Haley, you got Ronnie Lott. They defenses get a lot of love.
Yeah. Way back.
T, who your favorite defense, man?
Yeah, I gotta go with the 2000 Ravens.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
I know they were great on all three levels: the D line, linebackers, and secondary.
Full of freakish.
Everybody talking about what made do. I'm like, first of all, Ray, you got Ray over here.
Their defense.
Jamie over here. Peter Baldwell right here. Then you go in the back end. On the back end, you got Chris McAllister on this side. Dwayne Starks on the other side.
I know that was crazy.
Then you got Kim Harry as your free safety. Then Rob Wilson is your strong safety.
Rod at the free. Harry played the strong.
And then you look at the D line. You got Rob Burnett, right? On you got Rob Burnett, Michael McCrary as your ends, and in the middle, you got two big monsters. You got Goose and you got Sam.
Yep.
Now let's see, can you get past that?
Hell no.
I still never forget what Tony Syracuse did to Rich Gannon. Oh my God. I thought he killed him.
Shit, what he didn't do to anybody.
And then they was like, man, you'll never. And I remember after both of them left, they said you'll never find two big defensive linemen like that ever again. Oh really? Oh really? And I remember, I think it was 2006 or 2007. It was in the NFL. It was the NFL draft, and I was like, okay, who they go pick? Who they go pick next? Then I see this big dude in Oregon. And I was like, who the heck is this dude? They was like, that's Haloti Nana. I was like, moving like that?
Man, them late 2000 Ravens defenses were wasted on that damn offense.
And then I think, who else do we have at this time? I know the late years we had Suggs. I think Peter Baldwin was still there. It was him, Suggs, Adelius Thomas. I think Bart Scott had just got there. And I forgot Chris McAllister, he was still there. I forgot the other guys, but I know it was Ed Reed. All those guys was back there. But the one person who I just like, bro, why did you come back and play with us? You was done, dog. When they signed Dion, I was like, dog, why?
Yeah, Dion was done at that point.
I said that if that's the one guy, I said they was like, what's the one guy that you wish you would have played with during his prime? I said Dion. Because we got him too late.
Yeah, you saw how at the Hawks screwed us the other night, nigga.
I saw it. Dude shoot. Who's that? Murray hit 2 free throws at the end.
Yeah, you saw that bullshit.
I ain't see what happened though, or how he got the call and shit.
No, they called a foul. He was trying to go for that ugly ass shot. They tried to say he got fouled. They bailed his ass out. Because Paulo was giving his ass the business.
Yeah, man. That nigga Paulo, man.
When they said Curry coming back 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. From looks like we need to hurry up and get back. It's not looking good.
It wasn't looking good when he was there.
It looked better than what it do now. It was looking better than what it looked like now.
Shit, not really, because they was doing trash on the road. They better at home.
They talking about, oh man, I see somebody on TikTok. They was like, oh man, all Curry to do is look. I'm like, bruh. I see this dude. I seen this guy break down a guy who they said they gave a defensive player of the year and he made him look like chopped liver.
That's crazy. T, you saw Avatar yet?
Nah, hell nah. I don't sit that shit. Maybe I'll try to go see it the weekend and shit for the holidays.
Yeah, I'll try to go, man. My damn schedule's so good.
Yo, who's going to the finals this year in the NBA? NBA, y'all gotta say.
The NBA, who going? Yeah, the way it's looking, you gotta ask T. T know who going, T.
I'ma say in the East, I'ma go with Milwaukee. And in the West, I'm gonna say I want to say the Clippers, but I don't know if they're gonna make it. I'm gonna say Denver.
Denver, think Denver get over the hump?
Man, Denver playing like some defense this year.
Let me think about that. Denver, no, and hell no.
You got T? Trey?
Probably if I had to look at it, maybe And before you even say anything, I'm not saying the Lakers. Before you even, before y'all get to talking, I'm
Nigga,
not
I
saying the
was waiting
Lakers.
on it, nigga. I was like, hold up, it's gonna be LeBron versus LeBron, nigga.
Before y'all go there, I'm not picking the Lakers. I really don't. It's really a toss up because you look at the teams, it's like, bruh, it's just wide open. Because I'm like, I want to pick Milwaukee, but but I don't know. It's like it's real iffy right now.
Grizzlies versus Bucks sounds right. Sounds right.
I mean, yeah, the Grizzlies could go, but I just don't see it.
Lovey Smith.
You don't believe in Ja?
Nah, it's not Ja. It's the NBA.
You got to deal with Nike. He's solidified now.